Hello, and welcome back to Gafgar, where we read Reddit stories. I just finished uploading the first story I read, one that really still heated about that story. I really don't like it. This one, I think the first Reddit story like where I actually went on to Reddit, and it was just one of the main posts I saw. And I did not like it. I've remembered it ever since. I don't think I've ever heard any of the 3 or 4 people I listen to read Reddit stories, or channels, I should say. I don't think any of them have read this one. Not to say that that's not the case that somebody else hasn't read it, but I legit found this one on my own. The more I kind of think about it, I'm not as annoyed with it. And I guess I kind of agree with the rating that this person has gotten, but this is an Am I the Asshole post. It's by Drybody7578. And the title is, Am I the Asshole for not wanting to get my girlfriend an expensive engagement ring? Now, just based off of the title alone, oh my god, I have to click stuff. Over here, just reading shit, not clicking. The whole point that you come for the video, I guess. Not to listen to me and my annoying voice, but to see coins fly out of the box. So just from the title alone, it's kind of subjective of what expensive is. Expensive for one person could be cheap for another. And it also depends on the item. Are you willing to pay for that? But for an engagement ring, I think, quite frankly, people are too focused on price and like the whole, which was, I mean, the rule of thumb is what, like 3 paychecks or 3 months worth of salary, something like that, to get an engagement ring, and I think that's stupid. The cost of the engagement ring should almost be irrelevant. I have seen and listened to stories where somebody spends like under $50 for an engagement ring, and that's kind of gross. Now, is it like, okay, we were strapped for money, I'm buying this $50 so we can get married because I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and then later on down the line they make enough money, and then one of their anniversaries, like a gift, is the guy getting her a legit better ring. Those are sweet, but the ones I'm thinking of, it's the guy had the means to buy a ring and then chose not to. So let's see what's going on in this story. I've 26 mil. Oh my god, I already don't like the way this is written. I 26 mil, have been with my girlfriend, 26, for 4 years, and we've recently been talking more and more about marriage. Although my girlfriend grew up relatively well off, for the time I've known her, she's been pretty low maintenance. She's never cared about designer brands, rarely buys new clothes, and the jewelry she owns was gifted to her. I have a decent job now, $80K a year, and I've been saving for a while. But growing up, my family didn't have a lot of money. I can sympathize with that. My girlfriend and I have always seemed to be on the same page when it comes to saving money. I assumed she would be fine with a more affordable ring. When I started looking into rings, I discovered moissanite rings, which look similar to diamond rings, but are much more affordable. I was looking at rings in the $1,500 to $1,800 range. Okay, $1,500 to $1,800. I personally think that's way too much. And this is from the perspective of somebody getting this for me to wear on my hand. 4 digits worth of money going on my hand that could easily be stolen or lost would absolutely devastate me. Not really the price, but just that's a lot of money. When you get into 4 digits, I know a lot of people might not think, especially with $80K a year, and this is going to be something that's going to last a while. But even that amount, I would not be comfortable with my partner wanting to get me something like that. Now, maybe that's just me. And I'm all about acts of service and buying things and wanting to show love. I just don't think you do it with money. It should be the thought that counts. It should be the, like, obviously if you're getting engaged, you know, the engagement ring, like it should be, you know, to your partner's liking. It should be unique to that partner. But anyways, I digress. Let's continue on. When I mentioned this to her, she insisted she wanted a real diamond ring and sent me links to a bunch of diamond rings that she likes or liked. The prices range from $6,500 to $10,000. Who the fuck wants to walk around with 5 digits worth of money on your finger? And you're going to show it off, and you're going to be like, ooh, it's this, and like, you are just walking around with a flag that says, please rob me, I have $10,000 on me, please rob me. Even $6,500, like, these are prices that you pay to get a car. Again, I am not a frugal person. You should spend your money wisely, invest, and all this stuff. Again, you should spend your money wisely, but, and I get like, oh, this is a ring, it's gonna last forever, the marriage, because you should never going into a marriage thinking that it's gonna end, because that's just pessimistic thinking. It's not even like, oh, it's realistic thinking. It's not. You should go into a marriage wanting to succeed. Like, if there's any bit of you that thinks it's not gonna succeed, then you probably should be going to counseling, you know, like pre-marriage counseling or so, which everybody should do that anyways. But anyways, $6,500, I mean, and it's not the immediate price that throws me off. It's just what happens if this is lost. Obviously, you would get warranties and all that stuff for it, but I would feel so paranoid. Again, it's not the cost. I would spend tens of billions of trillions of dollars if I could to show my love for the person I'm marrying, right? Like, that's it. It's not the price. It's the paranoia of that $10,000 is on your hand, and if anybody knows how much it is, like that, like, you become a target in my mind. And now I'm paranoid. Is this gonna be too attractive to the wrong person, to the wrong people? That's where my mind goes. Anyways, but again, let's continue. I told her that I wasn't willing to spend that much. She seemed genuinely mad and said it wasn't that expensive. Okay. Even comparatively, $80K a year versus 65 to 10,000. Let's go with 10,000 because it's just easier math. That is 1/8 of your salary. 1/8, which is 12.5%. Yeah, 12.5% of what you bring home in a year. That's not insignificant. That's a significant part of your income. Granted, 80K is fairly decent, especially if she works, which I believe she does. But on its face, that is expensive. $65,000 to $10,000 can get you a car. My first car, granted I financed it, but my first car was a Chevy Spark, and it was $11,000. Loved that car. It was a 2016. Got it in 2016. I think after all the fees and warranty, all that stuff, it was like $14K. But a car was $11,000. You're telling me that $10,000 isn't expensive for I mean, this is like, I bought a car that I'm driving that has utility every single day, you know, to get me to work and to let me do whatever the fuck I want to do throughout the rest, you know, I only had the car for 2 years, but that is expensive. Like, there's more information to this story, but I'm literally just putting my 2 cents in as I'm reading stuff. And I'm sorry, $6,500 to $10,000 is expensive, regardless of what you're buying. It's at that point that is expensive. I don't care if you're making $80 billion a year. That's still expensive. Like, apropos of anything, that is expensive. That is expensive. That hits the realm of expensive. Now, it might not be expensive to you if you're fucking Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos. Like, it's insignificant to you, right? It's insignificant to you, that amount of money. But on a whole, for the average person, $10,000 is expensive. Let's continue. We got in a pretty big argument over it. I told her that it was ridiculous to ask me to spend that much and that I thought she was more reasonable than that. She said I was being cheap and that I could afford it and that I was basically saying she wasn't worth it. I told her no one is worth a $10,000 ring. All right. This is where he messed up. This is where I'm like, okay, you hit the asshole territory. Because I think he's an asshole. I think she is, she's still an asshole. I think she's an asshole too. I think this is where like communication, the communication aspect comes into it. They need to more so talk about this and get some counseling. Eventually, let's continue. Eventually, my girlfriend said she didn't care and that I should get whatever ring I want, but she's clearly still mad, and I know this is going to be an ongoing argument. I'm a bit frustrated because this seems out of left field. I've always known marriage is super important to her, but I didn't realize she'd insist on a diamond ring. So I talked to my older sister about it, who, despite agreeing diamond rings were stupidly priced, which, side note, they fucking are. You can get apparently a lab-grown one for like a fraction of the price. Sided with my girlfriend and said if I could afford it, she didn't see the big deal. She added that my girlfriend has done so much for me, and I was being an asshole about it. Now this is where he kind of more so goes into the asshole territory. What my sister means by my girlfriend doing so much for me is that she my goodness. She was really supportive when I was in a serious car accident 4 years ago. I broke multiple bones and required a few surgeries. Although where I live, most healthcare is covered, I was unable to work for a while and had expenses I wasn't able to pay. I had been dating my girlfriend for only 6 months at the time, and she was really there for me. I couldn't pay my rent, so she let me move in with her for free and helped pay for a few expenses and for physical therapy I needed. She also helped me get a job with her uncle, who is the VP of an insurance company. It was an entry-level position, and I had a business degree, so it's not like I was unqualified. I obviously thanked her for all she did for me, but it's not something we talk about much. I don't think I'm obligated to buy an expensive ring because she helped me out a few years ago. But if my own sister said this, I'm guessing my girlfriend must feel this way as well. Am I the asshole? And then there's a little edit. This post got way more attention than I expected. I've definitely reconsidered my stance. I'm going to talk about this more with her. Thanks for all your help. Okay. So obviously, like, the beginning, I'm more on his side, and then I get less and less on his side. I still share my same stance. $6,500 to $10,000 is expensive. Very expensive. Now, this is where I somewhat agree with other people, but I also think they're maybe taking it literally, maybe not literally enough. Anyways. The simple fact that this man was in a car wreck and needed basically somebody, he was very dependent on somebody else. And his girlfriend at the time of 6 months was so like, I mean, 6 months is a decent amount of time. Like, not, you can't really, I wouldn't be shocked if some people didn't do this, but at the same time, I don't know. This is one of those I would say it's unrealistic to go into a relationship expecting something like this, but this is definitely where it's at this point where, like, okay, I'm marrying this person. There's no doubt in my mind I'm marrying this person. If somebody within 6 months let me move into her place and took care of me, paid for my surgery, paid for my physical therapy. Yes, paid for my physical therapy, paid for the expenses of, you know, having an extra body in a house, basically paid for my rent, like all this stuff. Like 100%, there is nothing stopping me. Obviously, if she didn't want to, but there's no other person that's going to stop me from marrying this person. Like it'd be set in stone. And I would want to do anything and everything for this woman. I would be so in love with her. Like it's insane. Especially for him to say the statement, nobody is worth a $10,000 ring is wild. Is wild. You know what? I technically would agree. She isn't worth a $10,000 ring. She's worth a fucking $1 billion ring. She's worth so much. Like there's not even a number to quantify the dollar amount for what she would need to show. Like if I'm the guy in this, if I'm OP in this scenario, there's nothing that's going to show. There's no way I'm going to be able to show my gratitude or my appreciation for what this woman has done for me. And then also on top of all of that, helps you get a job, basically helps you get your 80K job a year. Now, where I'm going to be a little bit of an ass is I still bring up with her, and I bring up the reason, because my reasoning is different than his. His reasoning is kind of stupid, because he's scared about spending that money because of childhood trauma, essentially, and he does need to get over that. My reasoning would be, hey, this is why I don't want to get you this ring. Like, let's look for cheaper alternatives. It can still be diamond. Does it have to be, can we get lab-grown diamonds? Again, from what I hear, they are cheaper than real diamonds. So that's where that's just where I would go about it. And obviously, most of the comments are telling him he is an ass, and I do agree. There's this one. It's a response to somebody else. 10K is a lot, but the low end of the price range the girlfriend was looking at was 65, and considering how she's theoretically going to wear this for quite a while, I think that's a pretty good deal. For me, it would be a ridiculous amount to spend on a wedding gown that you're only going to wear once, but much more reasonable to spend on something that you're going to have on your finger every day, which I agree. That was from Schrodinger's Cat 42, or underscore Cat 42. I agree with that. A response to that one from Kisu804. Is this thread full of diamond salesmen? I feel like I'm taking crazy pill. Seeing people act like 6K isn't absurd. See? I agree with that too. 6K for a ring is absurd. Again, you're wearing it every day, and it's not the cost. I feel like it might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but it's... Yeah, it's something. It is something. Whoopsies. Okay, what was I saying? There's going to be a little bit of a pause. Hopefully a pause. Probably not. there's a pause function with OBS to pause the recording, but I don't think it pauses it. Anyways. So, I think my reasoning, as opposed to other people's reasoning, is again, it's not the cost, because I'd be willing to spend like in the millions for a wedding, which is only a one-day event, but I'd rather spend that much. It's just the everyday walking around in my mind with the 6K on your hand and it feeling like a target. Because you have an engagement ring, you're going to show that shit off. It's just weird. But it just saw a comment that I really do. It says, I don't have a problem. This is from... It's either from... I don't know, I think the username is not Cinderella. But they are apparently a certified proctologist. I don't know what that means. Obviously, I know what a proctologist is. It's just weird that it's underneath their username. I don't have a problem with OP not wanting to spend that much / not being able to afford that much. It's his attitude towards his girlfriend which bothers me, especially with how nice and caring she seems to be. 100%. It's the attitude, and it's not something that she did this nice gesture because she saw a future with him. Obviously, she saw a future with him by letting him move in, taking care of him, giving him a job, really supporting it. Like if she hadn't been there, he would not be in the position he is in now. And we don't know anything about his family life, so give or take, there could have been somebody there that could have still helped, but definitely he wouldn't have his 80K job. That's most likely not possible. This is one that when I first read it, I was a little angrier about it. But the more and more I've thought about it and reading comments and rereading it, if his approach was better, and it wasn't like he was kind of ignoring all this stuff she's done for him, and she didn't do it in expecting to get all this stuff. Like, she's like, I'm going to do this, and then he's going to be forced to give me a diamond ring. Granted, if she had that mindset, I would say they're both assholes. I think she's still slightly an asshole for not, for saying $10,000, $6,500 to $10,000 is not expensive, because it 100% is expensive. That is expensive range. For the average person, that is expensive. Even at 80K, that's an expensive purchase. That's a significant purchase. 15 to 18, 2,000, maybe even 3,000, you could classify as not being expensive. But when you're hitting in that 12.5% of your annual gross, and obviously 80K, is this his take home? Is this just, I make 80K, but I bring home 70 or 65K all, after taxes and stuff. So, it does change what $10,000 is to that 80K a year. So that is still expensive. And the argument that she gives, well, you can afford it. Oh, you're being cheap. Like that's not correct. Like she is in her right to be upset, especially when he says that nobody is worth $10,000 ring, a $10,000 ring. That is a slap in the face. That's I could potentially see this being like relationship ending. Obviously it's not. She kind of capitulates and goes, fine, then just get whatever ring you want. And that's not the mindset you want. You definitely, especially for him, I wouldn't want my fiance to be like, whatever. But this is where I think I'm a better communicator than most. I'm going to first go, oh, okay, it's not the price, it's this. And if you're wanting diamonds, maybe we can go about it so they're somewhat cheaper. Can we do this? And again, it's not the price, it's not like the cheaper. It's just like, so I feel comfortable with you walking around with this without feeling like you're a target. Because if I buy you something, like jewelry, specifically jewelry, it's kind of different for other things, but if I buy you a $10,000 ring, most people, and they know, because when people can spot it and all that stuff, you then become a target, and I'm going to be paranoid because you're walking around with $10,000, and are they just going to steal it from you? Are they going to want to do other things? Are they going to kill you for it? That's where, and granted, it is coming from me, and I'm biased, but it's where I mean, that's my own problem, my own thing to work through, but I would still discuss it with my fucking fiance. I'd be like, hey, this is what I'm having problems with. It's not that you're not worth it. You're worth way more than this. Obviously, you did all of this for me. You got me the job I have. You did all of these things. Don't even for a second not believe that you're not. Because, I mean, to be fair, you're not worth this. You're worth way more. You're basically, the amount of money is, for me, would not be quantifiable. It's priceless what you'd be worth to me. And $10,000 isn't even remotely, it's not even a blip. It's not even a speck on the graph for the amount of money that would show my appreciation to what you've done for me in this moment. I mean, even if we didn't even spend the rest of our life, if it was just the 6 months, we were together a year up to this, and you did this, you would forever be, I'd be very distraught if I couldn't marry you, but there still would be nothing that I could do to show my gratitude and for this action. There wouldn't be. And again, like, he just goes about it in the wrong way. There's poor communication. It's the argument of, oh, he can afford it is a stupid one. Just because you can afford something doesn't mean that it's an intelligent decision to buy something. Not necessarily in this case, but, well, you can afford it. Well, yeah, I can afford it, but there can be alternative options. Again, this one was one that stuck with me for the longest time. I think this post is 3 years old. That's 3 years old. I don't know if there's a way to see when it's actually posted or not. Probably not. But, so this is 3 years old. So from this, it's 4 years. Granted, I don't know if they're married yet, but at this point, they had been dating for 4 years. So, 4 years at the halfway, at 6 months, which is half a year. Oh, my poor math. What is that? 25%? So 25% of their relationship at that point? That doesn't seem right. It'd be 2.5 years. Or 2 6 months. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 8. Maybe it's just 12%? Anyways. Doing weird math. I love math, and I don't know what I was doing there. I think she's slightly an ass, but maybe she's being an ass because he said something very hurtful. Like, this would be very hurtful to be told that you're not worth this amount of money after she's done the gesture, regardless of how much it cost her to do physical therapy, helping him, all this stuff. It's irrelevant how much she spent. Even if she spent nothing, even if she spent so much money, like, I can imagine it. What she spent would have been a lot of money, obviously. Especially, let me see, does it say? It doesn't say how long this lasted. Like, how long she took care of him. Which, again, is kind of irrelevant. Obviously, this probably took like half a year, if not a few years. Especially if you were in a car crash and you broke multiple bones and had to have surgeries. You're not just having, that's not something that happens on a Tuesday and you're all better on a Wednesday or the following Friday or anything. This is something that's taking time to recover. Like, this is months, if not a year, a few years. I would be surprised if it wasn't, at the 4-year mark when he was proposing to her, that's when he was finally done with his recovery. That would wouldn't really surprise me. But I think he acknowledges, well, somewhat. It's a small edit. There's no update to it. No, that's the only post he's ever made, so that's not too bad. I wonder if that's when he joined. Anyways. Alright, what are we doing in the game now? I usually kind of look up every now and then, but I don't look at how many coins I have in the let's... Oh my god, that's gonna take... shouldn't take too long. What else do I want to talk about? Because I like to talk a lot. I love the sound of my own voice. I actually don't. I definitely don't like listening to it from a recording. It sounds way different. So much different. It's wild how different it sounds on a recording versus what I hear myself. Oh well. But I guess it is what it is. I'll eventually, actually, funny enough, having listened back to what I sound like, there's somebody I follow on that I'm subscribed to on YouTube, obviously, and I sound exactly like him in my opinion. It's so weird. Oh well, it's just interesting. Have almost the same mannerisms. We're gonna get this to 100K, which we're almost there. Oh, come on. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna focus. We've got it. We've got it, baby. All right. Whoa, what's going on? I'm gonna buy. Let's buy this. Now we get 3 coins. I think a second or something like that. That's kind of dope. Let's go back. I don't think we can buy a tube. No, that was fortune. I'm just gonna dump everything into that. I don't want to really worry about the winged coin chance. I don't really care enough about that. Do I want to get the silver coins? Do I want to spend money on that? How much do I need? That's a good question. Oh well. Well, the ending of this video is riveting, I can tell. I guess I'll just in case, I don't have my cursor recording. I should probably record it, maybe. This total, especially now that I have the coins coming out of the tube, this total is obviously going to be inconsistent in between recordings. Now that I have the coin, I probably shouldn't have gotten that. Oh well. So that'll change some things, but I think for the time being, I'm kind of more interested in seeing how far I can get the bronze coin. If it caps, if it has a cap. I think my next thing to buy will be the click. Get more of those. Just interested in that. So, as always, I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, or a great year, depending on if you want to come back to this channel or not. Regardless, I appreciate you taking time out of your limited amount of hours given in a day to watch or listen to this video. Toodles.